Acknowledge all victims, survivors of family, domestic, and sexual violence here. It is for my children, our children, and the next generation that I do this work. I'm here today because of a promise that I made to myself in 2021. If I were to survive family, domestic, and sexual violence, I would be of service to those who are living unsafe in their home and being harmed by someone they love. I'm asking everyone in this room to put themselves in the shoes of someone living unsafe, because they can be your colleague, your friend, your sister, your mother, or your child. Perhaps you are sitting shoulder to shoulder at work every day with someone experiencing violence at home. They are isolated, being harmed, and face many obstacles that prevent them from seeking help, from leaving violence, or even choosing to stay. Safety is elusive. There's often confusion of some good times wrapped in deeply violent and harmful behaviors that are controlling their lives, and they lose all autonomy. We as a community can come together to unburden and remove some of these obstacles for those experiencing domestic, family, and sexual violence. I'd like to talk to you today about 4 important reasons that safe spaces in everyday places are vital and can unburden those living in fear in their home due to a person using violence who too often is someone close to them. Number 1 is early access to support. This is life-saving and prevents further trauma. People living with violence can't just leave. It's a process of understanding what is happening to them, developing awareness through resilience of how to leave, or even maybe how to stay. There's a very long pre-contemplative stage of seeking safety. It can happen over days, months, and sometimes even often years. People using violence are very good at what they do. They can use tactics that manipulate the victim into thinking that the violence is their fault. It's not why didn't she leave? The question should be, where can she find a safe space to gather her thoughts or seek safety in a way that is viable for her? Without a safe space, years go by, trauma compounds, children and young people are irreversibly harmed. Safe Together Network, with its partners, provides a space where early intervention can occur. Number 2 is safety. I ask you to appreciate the risk that someone takes when they seek help at any stage. Family, domestic, and sexual violence includes coercive control, which means that the victim survivor's devices are often being monitored, their location tracked, and the ease of tech abuse by a person using violence is part of their playbook. Every website visited on their personal device is known to the abuser. Often, a person is being controlled is allowed to go to work, or maybe even to a bank or a library. When a safe space is used as a dual purpose, such as a workplace, a shopping center, a place of worship, a hairdresser, or a medical clinic, or any everyday service, then help seeking can go undetected by a person using violence. Safe help seeking needs to happen in everyday spaces, and this happens in community. Victoria can have the best service system, but it can still have a huge accessibility gap. When people who are experiencing violence can't access the service safely, Safe Together Network, with its partners, closes that gap. Number 3 is inclusivity. Safe spaces in everyday places is truly an inclusive model. Family, domestic, and sexual violence carry shame and confusion in all communities. But for our multicultural communities, Aboriginal communities, faith communities, and LGBTQIA+ communities, there are additional barriers. As a person from a called faith community, divorce was considered a failure, unethical, and a horrible decision. To leave required relearning of values, understanding equality and worth. There is abuse that gets wrapped in culture or spiritual abuse, which is an additional barrier. Multicultural communities trust what's within their own community and are less likely to seek help from general service systems. Providing safe spaces within those communities breaks down stigma and serves as a preventative measure for diverse communities. Number 3 is about working from home. Working from home often gets raised as best policy by our government. But what if home is unsafe? I was only allowed to work from home or in my community, and the person using violence kept a close eye on me by also working from home. It made my world smaller and smaller and smaller. The government is moving towards a work from home policy as the standard option where possible. Safety measures need to be in place when the home is unsafe, especially if the work from home model is implemented in future due to fuel shortages or any other crisis. We saw domestic, family, and sexual violence rates increase during the COVID-19 pandemic, and the associated need, Victorians needed to work from home. Family violence was often referred to as the shadow pandemic. Now is the time to act and set up safe spaces in everyday places across Victoria so people can access support when home is unsafe in all circumstances. When I met Adam and heard about safe spaces in everyday places and the work of Safe Together Network, I was blown away by the obvious need for safe spaces, the simplicity, the cost effectiveness, the unburdening of victim survivors, and the incredible, wholehearted work that Adam, Beck, and the team of Safe Together Network did to offer the community to take action to support those living unsafely in their home. Safe spaces gives the victim survivor back their autonomy that was taken by the person using violence, to minimize the trauma, provide early intervention and safety through an intersectional lens. It's easy to say that family, domestic, and sexual violence is everyone's responsibility. When I finished my role at the Victim Survivor Advisory Council, my call was for the community, government, family, domestic, and sexual violence services systems to work together. The siloed approach is unhelpful for victim survivors. This is an opportunity for all of us to work together. Everyone here can be a leader of change, especially for all of those that are living in fear in their home. Stop asking, why didn't she leave? Or why the children and young people are so traumatized. Start asking, how can I help? I've been in many spaces where beautiful words were spoken, but little action was taken. I'm asking you to take action. Partner with us, like Natural Velocity, and help us create this network for those currently living unsafe in their home in our communities. Thank you for being here today.